quarrel once in a while.
These are just the quarrels, Carrie. I mean, I like a woman with mind of her own, but, well, it's the subject of our disagreements that separates us.
I see. How is Russ and his steady?
Her name is Becky, and she's his wife.
Don't remind me. Russ hasn't answered my letters either. She probably intercepts them from him.
Carrie, you hurt Russ deeply when he told you about the miscarriage.
Only because what I said hit too close to home?
But Carrie, if you want to get along with your son now, you had better accept his wife.
I can't help it if I don't share your feelings about Becky.
Then answer the other part of my question. What are you doing here in Kingsley?
I'm sorry to catch you this early, but I was just on my way down to the station.
That's all right. Please, have a seat.
Thank you. Thank you. The reason I came is I wanted to talk to you about the auto accident that you and Russ Weaver were involved in on Highway 15.
That was so long ago.
Well, it was 9 months ago, to be exact, and the police report said you were sideswiped by an unidentified vehicle traveling in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Russ was driving. I still have nightmares about it.
Do you have any idea who the other driver could have been?
Russ doesn't either. It happened so quickly.
Mrs. Martin, I know that it seems like justice works kind of slowly, but we have the man who ran you off the road.
But I didn't think the police had any clues.
Well, the circumstances surrounding his apprehension were a little bizarre, and I can't really talk about it, but he did confess.
Who?
Norm Elliott.
Norm?
He's in custody right now. He's waiting for arraignment.
I had no idea. Why?
I was hoping that you could tell me that.
Norm always seemed so troubled. Unpredictable. He could have killed us.
Listen, I don't mean to bring up these unpleasant memories, but I thought you should know about it.
You just caught me by surprise, that's all.
It's perfectly understandable. Look, I have to get going, so I'll just see myself out. Thank you.
I'll be yours for the rest of our life.
Oh, let's pull over.
To have and to hold, to love.
Oh my God!
Why?
Elliot was hurt. He was like a lunatic. He was a crazy person.
I mean, the guy attacked you?
Yeah, he tried to. He was after Lori. I mean, look at my hands. I'm so shaky.
Kill him. I'm gonna kill him this
I
time.
did to him. I thought he was just a harmless little runt. You see what happened?
But this only proves that I did the right thing. Just not good enough.
The guy's a walking bomb.
Lori, you.
Morning, Alex.
Is it still morning?
9:04.
I thought it must be lunchtime by now.
Got an early start, huh?
Fred Johnson decided to have an appendectomy at 4 o'clock this morning, and he almost waited too long.
Did it rupture?
No, we got it out in time.
Well, good for Fred.
Did you hear the good news?
What news?
Dr. Tyson told me that Terry is up for the head of nursing, and he wants to talk to us about it first.
Well, that's great. And she deserves it.
And she's one of the best nurses this hospital has.
Yeah, does she know yet?
No, Dr. Tyson said it wasn't official until it was approved by, you-know-who.
Lester Lewis? Do you think there's going to be any problems?
Well, it's possible. Lester is very suspicious of Christians. That's a direct quote from Dr. Tyson.
You know, I heard that he gave Jeff Cummings his money back after he was healed.
Lester was always a bit overly cautious on some things.
You know, he's really a very moral and ethical man, but very skeptical when it comes to faith. I wonder why.
I don't know. I think it's a shame, though, that the one thing that makes Terry a better nurse
Her faith?
is the same thing that could hold her back.
I told you, Slaymaker's instructions to me were to pull the document and then replace it with another. No names. I don't even remember the number of the safety deposit box.
You didn't look at the document?
No, I was just following orders. Brooke had the key ready for me when I got there.
Maybe she remembers.
Nah, she wouldn't remember. Especially now that she's thick with Slaymaker again. Oh, what if she denies everything?
Well, it's not gonna give me much of a case with no witness. Just be your word against hers.
You mean my confession would be worth nothing?
Norm, you did the right thing. Was she the only one that knows that you did this favor for Slaymaker?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to tell me about your employment with him?
Isn't that enough?
I don't know. Is it enough for you? You're the one that's got to carry the guilt here.
Your concern overwhelms me.
Norm, you have been used. If you want to let them get away with it, it's up to you.
No. Now it's up to you.
Hello, Mrs. Davidson.
Hello, Jill.
Thanks for coming.
Well, we'll be on our way as soon as the paperwork is ready.
I don't really know how to apologize, if you know what I mean.
Well, I do, but sometimes we all need to do that.
Yeah, I guess.
Judge Slaymaker was pretty impressed with you to grant you permission to go to the store manager.
Yeah. She's a little weird.
Why do you say that?
Well, she kept staring at me when I left the office, like I scared her or something.
Well, it must not have been very important because I had no problem getting permission to take you.
How much longer do you think it'll be before I get out of this place for good?
Well, if all goes well, pretty soon.
If all goes well. What if it doesn't?
Oh, it will, Jill.
What good will an apology do?
Oh, you'll see. The words "I'm sorry" can work miracles.
What if he doesn't believe that I mean it?
Well, do you?
I guess I do. Mostly, I just want to get off the hook.
Well, that's understandable. But be as sincere as you can. You know, sometimes we have to do what's right and feel it later.
Mrs. Davidson, well, to tell the truth, I'm not half as worried about doing what's right as I am about getting out of this mess.
And from my living room windows, I want these lacy shears.
I knew a girl with that name once.
What?
Lacey Shears.
Leon Marshall, don't you reminisce about such things in this house?
Hey, Mama, we were in the second grade. Come on, when we about finished?
I think so. Gene is gonna kill me, but he told me to pick out just whatever I wanted.
Yeah, by the time Leon Interiors is finished, we're gonna put the dream back into your dream house.
Well, is everything straight? I haven't seen you write anything.
I got it all right up here. Okay, let's see. Harvest time wallpaper for the wall, bright rustic counters, and a red brick design for the floor, which, by the way, only needs to be wiped with a damp cloth, no waxing.
Oh, I wish they had that when Gene came along.
And in the living room, soft wall-to-wall carpet with an area rug, traditional windows with the lacy shears underneath.
Now, do you need me to go over the colors and the material
No,
again?
no, Mama, I told you, I got
Yes,
it.
I know. Right up here. Now, how
Right.
much is all that gonna cost me?
I'll work it out for you later. Hey, don't worry. Now, I've always done right by you, haven't I?
Oh, I trust you, but Gene doesn't.
I'll take care of Gene. Has either one of those two made the first move yet?
Gene and Carla?
Yeah.
No. And everything was going so nice, too, until Gene got that letter from Sam, and we haven't seen much of Jimmy lately either.
Yeah, my sister never did have great timing. I had lunch with Carla the other day. That perfumed letter sure did make her mad. But that's a sign that she cares a lot.
Charles, I won't keep you long. Listen, I just finished going over Prescott's recommendations for the north end of the mall. I think we should go with it. Right. I'll talk to you later.
Where's George?
Well, he's tied up in a meeting.
Where? I've got to talk to him right away.
He doesn't tell me everything. He simply said he'd be tied up and that I could use his office.
It's very important.
Well, can I help?
A Sergeant Brubaker called me about 20 minutes ago. He wants to ask me some questions. I'm on my way down to the police station to see him now.
I see. Well, I'm sure that George will be very sorry that you missed him.
I was hoping he could tell me what's going on.
Well, I thought he had.
No. What's this all about, Mr. Cardello?
Looks like Elliot has talked.
Norm Elliott?
He was arrested a couple of days ago, charged with attempted murder.
Norm? Attempted murder?
Apparently he ran someone off the road some while back. Someone very dear to me, as a matter of fact.
I can't believe it. Norm's always seemed a little strange, but a nice guy. But how does Norm's situation involve me or the bank?
Well, I think he wants George to help clear him of this charge, or else Norman Elliott will squeal to the police about how George authorized him to open up a safety deposit box belonging to a customer of the bank.
I let Norm into the vault and gave him the key.
Well, I guess Brubaker wants you to verify Norman Elliott's story.
But that'll get George in trouble.
And yourself. Tampering with a safe deposit box is a federal offense, or didn't you know that?
I guess, but George owns the bank. He told me to do it. George. He knew all about this yesterday, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Why?
I saw him, and he didn't say... He's using me.
Excuse me, sir. I was told you're the store manager.
Customers are not allowed in back, no exceptions.
Mr.
Augustine. Look, lady, what do you want? I told you no one's allowed back here.
Well, excuse me. My name is Terry Davidson, and this is Jill Hanson. It will only take a minute of your time.
Oh, I remember you. Didn't I tell you I never wanted to see you in here again?
Mr. Augustine,
Young
we've come
kids
here to...
are all alike. No respect for other people's property.
Jill came here to apologize
Are you
to
her mother?
No, but I had to accompany...
How did she get out of jail so fast? That's another thing. The police pick them up and then they let them go to steal again.
Mr. Augustine, Jill has not been released from jail yet.
Oh,
She's
you're
come
her
here to...
parole officer?
No, I'm not.
Oh, great. Now they let prisoners out on shopping sprees.
We're here to apologize.
What?
All the storekeepers I had to rip off.
I heard that.
Look, I know you're mad. Well, I remember one time when I was at the beach and I had a six-pack and this kid ran by and took off with it. Well, I was steaming.
Why didn't you remember that the other night when you were stealing from me?
Well, because maybe I thought I needed what I took.
Did you need that beer?
No.
Still made you mad when it was taken, though, right?
If I wanted lectures, I'd stay at the station house.
Jill.
Well, he's not making this any easier on me.
Well, I haven't heard an apology yet.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, what else do you want? That I didn't need that stuff? That I shouldn't have taken it? I know it's hard enough, competing with the supermarket across the street without having shoplifters empty your shelves.
I've had kids steal from me ever since I opened this store. Well, one time I was even held up at gunpoint. But I never had anyone come back and apologize.
That's a first for me. Guess it's about time I start doing something right.
Surprise!
Carrie.
Well, don't I even get a hello kiss?
Well, what are you doing here?
Well, you mean here in Kingsley, or how did I find you?
Both.
Well, I called your hotel room, and the front desk forwarded me to this number. I called, got the secretary out front, and she gave me the address.
Hey, Mr. Calling, that was good detective work.
I do have a flair for it, don't I? Especially when nobody keeps me up to date voluntarily. Vince, why haven't you called or written? Your checks don't even come with a note.
Well, Carrie, I've been busy.
That never used to stop you.
Yeah, well, look, our last few encounters have been far from pleasant, have they?
So we quarrel once in a while.
These are just the quarrels, Carrie. I mean, I like a woman with mind of her own, but, well, it's the subject of our disagreements that separates us.
I see. How is Russ and his steady?
Her name is Becky, and she's his wife.
Don't remind me. Russ hasn't answered my letters either. She probably intercepts them from him.
Carrie, you hurt Russ deeply when he told you about the miscarriage.
Only because what I said hit too close to home?
But Carrie, if you want to get along with your son now, you had better accept his wife.
I can't help it if I don't share your feelings about Becky.
Well, then answer the other part of my question. What are you doing here in Kingsley?
Chicago is extremely dull and boring right now.
It's spring, and the city never looked better.
Let me finish. And I came to see Russ. And you.
You plan to stay long?
I'm not sure. There's nothing pressing in Chicago. You never answered me. How is our son, Vince?
Russ is fine. I think he's actually beginning to like me. We've been spending a lot of time together.
I guess that means that Becky's been gone more often with that band. What is it, summer something?
I've been spending some time with Becky, too. She's a very likable girl.
I'm sure all the band members would agree with you. I plan to visit Russ tomorrow.
Oh, well, you're going to like their new house. It's very nice. I'll write you the address here.
New house? Well, at least you moved them out of that second-story sewer.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it. It was a friend of Becky's.
I hope she's not dragging him down, expecting to be lavishly supported before he becomes a doctor.
Carrie, Becky's not that kind of a girl.
She's not pregnant again, I hope.
No. Look, if you're that interested, why don't you go and visit him yourself?
I will. I've missed you, Vince. When are you going to spend more time in Chicago?
I'm going to move here to Kingsley.
Here? When?
Soon. I got a new project in the works. Hollister Mall. It's legitimate.
And near Russ.
Well, Lisa and Tony are moving here with me.
So it'll be just one big happy family.
Carrie.
Don't touch me. It's obvious that things are falling apart between us, just like Russ and Becky. But when the dust settles, I'll have my son, Becky her career, and you, your darling wife.
Carrie, don't.
Brooke Bellamy? John Brubaker. Sorry I'm late.
I understand. It's a busy place.
Never a dull moment. Thanks for coming.
Did I have a choice?
Well, you could have come in peacefully like you did, or I could have issued a warrant to have you brought in for questioning.
Seems like I made the best decision.
I just have a few questions.
I don't even know what this is all about. I didn't do anything wrong.
I am not accusing you of anything.
Well, someone else has?
Miss Bellamy, may I call you Brooke? Brooke, I have reason to believe that a safety deposit box in the bank in which you work was illegally opened.
Then shouldn't you be questioning the president, George Slaymaker?
What's interesting that you should bring his name up? Is there any particular reason?
Well, I just thought since he was the president, maybe you'd want to talk with him.
What is your relationship with Mr. Slaymaker?
Relationship? He's my boss, that's all.
I see. How long have you been there?
About 2 years.
What about Norm Elliott? Do you know Norm Elliott?
No. Yes, Norm works for George, Commissioner Slaymaker.
And what is your relationship with Mr. Elliott?
Friends, I guess. He's asked me out a few times, but I wasn't interested.
Did Norm often go to the savings and loan on business for Mr. Slaymaker?
Sometimes. Sergeant Brubaker, please, would you tell me what this is all about?
Norm has confessed to tampering with the safety deposit box in your bank as authorized and instructed by Mr. Slaymaker. And he gained entrance to the vault and given the key by you.
Me? Hey, listen, just because Norm is in some serious trouble doesn't mean he has to drag innocent people down with him.
Did Slaymaker instruct you to let Norm tamper with that box?
Norm has come by the bank many times for Mr. Slaymaker. Now, how can I remember something like that?
Well, it's not the kind of thing that happens every day. I wouldn't think you'd forget it so easily. Do I have to remind you of the importance of telling the truth?
Sergeant Brubaker, hypothetically speaking, if an employee did what Norm has said, what would happen to them?
Be an accessory to the crime.
Even if the employee's boss told them to do it?
The employee is in the middle, but still guilty of breaking the law.
Isn't there such a thing as immunity or something?
Of course there is, only in some cases, and it's not mine to give, but I can put in a good word for you.
I don't keep a list of everything my superiors ask me to do. Now, I just can't remember. May I go back to work now?
Yes, you can leave. Brooke, you're facing some pretty serious charges here. I'll be in touch.